don't have the Smash Ball in focus. And by focus, I mean present. There we are.
There it is! So you think this would be it? Like, it's over after this. No more Smash Brothers stuff. Wrong. So wrong. So, probably gonna do some more stuff for it. I'll tell you more about it after the episode. Let's roll it. Episode 10, by the way.
Are we sure this time?
We're absolutely sure, Mr. Pat. Thank you.
So as some of you already know, data miners have revealed that Captain Falcon's eyeball is present inside the game's data. Some speculated it to be because of battle damage that was never put into the game. But what some of you may not know is that the eyeball is actually present on the actual model. Now, whether or not this aids the battle damage theory, his eye is only revealed on the right side. On the left side, it's just blackness, darkness, kapoosh, nothing. And one more additional fact is that I did check to see if he had eyeballs in F-Zero GX, and he does not. So this is the only time you ever get to see Captain Falcon's face on a Nintendo game. So in the Melee episode, we took a peek at the collection room, and that was with the English option, but with the Japanese option, it's a completely different room. Most of you already know this, of course, so you may be crying foul. Well, hold your horses, there's a reason why we're in this room. Namely, the reason is that for the Japanese room, there is a Super Smash Bros. Cart inside the Super Famicom system for some odd reason. And when we take a close look at that, oh, there are some secrets to behold. Oh look, it's the original Japanese box art. Whoop, oh, get distracted. Alright, back to the context of this clip. So all the original roster is here, like Mario, Samus, kinda looks like Link, definitely Yoshi, Pikachu, although I don't know why there's something purple above his head, Donkey Kong, a really bad looking Kirby, and by process of elimination, this is supposed to be Fox. But I can't help but see nothing that resembles Fox. Looks like some awful green, I don't know, drawing made by a 5-year-old. Maybe it's Gibblegorp, I have no idea. Now back to Brawl. Specifically, the intro to Brawl. Now this is a little hard to catch because it's moving so fast, there's no way to pause. But if you take a quick look, you can see that the initial intro sequence is a full square, and the cliffside sequence is actually fully rendered, which is something I was not expecting whatsoever. Now, back to Melee. Hey look, we're back at Pokemon Stadium. Guess we missed something. And actually there was 2 things I missed. The first thing we're going to look at is what's just below the surface of any part of Pokemon Stadium. And that is if you go below, just enough below the surface, you will actually see a ventilation system that you will never be able to see even when the stage is transforming. Now, since this is an unused asset, I had to check the version in Brawl as well to see if it was there a second time. And I can confirm that, yes it is, which indicates to me that when these stages are being made for future sequels, they're actually being ported over and not so much built from the ground up. And embarrassingly enough, I totally missed this building over here because I was too focused on the blue tower in the last episode. It says Pocket on it 2 times, and one of the times has a Pokeball to represent the O. Very cool. Now, I personally have dubbed this clip the money shot. Now, you may disagree, but if you're like me, you're about to have your socks blown off. You ready?
The hatches are open.
Yeah, who else wishes that Great Bay was in Smash 4? So when I did the original Melee episode, I did check the stage out, and I didn't think there was anything particularly interesting. I was going to just put it in to make people happy because so many people asked about it, but there was actually some pretty interesting stuff that I found on my second go-through. So thank you. Thank you for putting the pressure on. Oh, damn! And by... well, I like that joke. I hope you guys got that. It's a damn. I don't know if you guys have noticed so far, but I'm actually checking all these areas because if I don't, people are going to ask, you know, what's in that cave? What's behind the dam? And unfortunately, there's nothing, but we're just going through it really, really quick before we get to the good stuff. Now, what episode isn't complete without a zoom in of a flying bird? It's always with the birds. I love the birds. All right, let's check out this bird. Now, these particular birds have gray markings next to their eyes and pointed snouts. I thought that was really cool. Or a white beak. Whatever. I'm overthinking it. And in typical Nintendo fashion, far more detail than you ever really would expect for such an insignificant aspect of the game. Alright, this is where it starts to get really cool. So, I'm in the area and I see the pot. I'm like, oh yeah, let me check the pot. Oh, nothing. Alright, well you know, actually I didn't even check inside the building. Let me do that real quick. And much to my surprise, the inside of the building is textured and rendered. What? So what, was someone supposed to come out of that building? Were we supposed to go in? Why did they decide to render that building? Whoa! And you know what? I'm probably losing the perspective of the audience right now. You guys just don't understand how many empty buildings I've looked inside of. Where you go to look and you're like, oh yeah, well, big surprise. There's not a single thing inside this building. It just disappears. Another viewer requested level, and I don't blame you, is Eldon Bridge from Twilight Princess. This is another one where I looked through the level, and I thought, well, you know, I don't think it's particularly interesting for the episode because, well, it's basically just the layout of Twilight Princess. But I'm going to tour you through it, and you're going to let me know if it was worth it or not. So one of the most interesting things about this level is that the Hyrule Castle in the background is actually fully rendered, and its pillars that shoot up seem to go a lot further in this game than it does in Twilight Princess. It's kind of amusing. And if you saw the Twilight Princess Game Tour episode, you would know that the little decoration at the tippity top of Hyrule Castle is missing from this particular version, but, you know, can I really blame them? This thing is so far out, you can't even really see the thing in standard definition. So, I'm gonna give them a pass. And then all of a sudden, something yellow, something triangular, catches my attention. Could it be? Could I have possibly found the Triforce again? Did this really just happen? No. No, it didn't. No, it's just a piece of terrain that's in the shape of a triangle. It's definitely not a piece of a Triforce. Fudge.
Corneria, fourth planet from the Lilac system. The evil Andros
Is checking out this beautiful city. So we're going to start this tour from the launch bay of the Great Fox. And you can just pretend that we're an Arwing or Chicken Walker, depending on how you feel about Star Fox Zero. So as you can see, Corneria's Metropolis is very busy, so I couldn't spend too much time checking out all the buildings, but I did see this one tower in particular that was different from all the rest, so I thought I'd take a look at that. And then, I saw this road. And you guys know what I have to do with roads. We gotta ride them, baby! So that's what we do. And as you can see, due to Andross's invasion, all of Corneria's Metropolis has been evacuated, and by no means does it have anything to do with saving memory on the Nintendo GameCube. By no means. One viewer said to me, hey, check out that Donkey Kong stage. It's probably going to be interesting. And I was like, no, it's not. And he was right. He was right. So with my pride aside, this level has a smorgasbord of interesting tidbits. And one of my favorites in particular is going to be on the left-hand side of the stage, and that is that some of the ruins actually have a carving of Donkey Kong. Now, we've seen stuff like that before with Donkey Kong Country Returns, but I've always wondered while playing the stage and seeing what I can see of the stage, why there wasn't any carvings of Donkey Kong as a little nod. But it actually does exist. So up here is the bipedal plane that eventually becomes a platform within the stage. As you can see, it's stuck in the vine. Is anyone else surprised that they went for the effort to put that in? Well, regardless, it's there, and now we actually have an excuse as to where the plane comes from. Hey, it's my boy Cranky Kong! And today we're going to take a look inside of Cranky Kong's house and see if he has any secrets to hide. So once we get inside of Cranky Kong's house, we discover that his house is really small, and that Cranky Kong lost a lot of weight to accommodate his really small living space. How I managed to say that all so convincingly, I have no idea. Alright, so now we're going to go check out the outhouse, where Cranky Kong likes to expel poop out of his butt. Yep, try to get that thought out of your head. Now I expected to see nothing, but I saw a small render there, so I checked underneath to see if there's anything I could find. Oh my god, are you dropping dookies in the river? You sick yet efficient monkey. You really efficient monkey, I shouldn't judge. So there's a lot to look at in Angel Land. I'm dead serious, there's a lot to look at in Angel Land. So with a total of 10 islands, and I'm just guessing that because I'm not going to bother to count it, let's start from left and go to right and take a look at every single one. Fun little fact, when I saw that Pit was revived for Smash Brothers, and I obviously wanted a new Kid Icarus game, especially with the new redesign, which we got, it was this level where I just let my imagination run wild, and I thought to myself, oh man, wouldn't it be so awesome to be able to fly to all these islands in like a high-budget AAA video game? You know, what we got, I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. But you know what? Oh, if we could just get like a high-budget, super high-budget Kid Icarus game. Great. Seriously, these islands though.
It never ends.
I actually had to contemplate leaving this all in because it's just so long. It takes so long. Oh, I love it though. Hey, it was interesting to me, so, that's why I shared it.
And now for the main event.
We've got 2 rendered islands in the background, and we're going to take a look at that because it's incredibly interesting. So first we're going to walk up these stairs, and then we're going to check inside that door, and there's 3 stone walls. Open sesame? No? Alright, moving on. See, I actually find this area so interesting that it could easily be repurposed into like another video game. Like I could definitely see this in a high-budget AAA kid. Alright, no, I gotta let that go. Now this spear throwing guy, he's particularly interesting. For one thing, he actually has excellent detail on that shield, which again, who would ever be able to see that? Good for them for putting in the effort. But more importantly, his face looks like a reptile. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I feel like I should make a conspiracy joke. And here's a statue of Pale Tuna. And for whatever reason, it looks like she has a kite shield from Dark Souls or something. And she's got nothing going on in the back. 2 archways and a waterfall. How lovely. Super relaxing. Okay, game designer scenario. Pit gets the power of flight on this island for the very first time, and he glides down to the very first boss dungeon, which teaches you the mechanic that you're going to be able to use so that you can solve puzzles within this dungeon. I'm 100% certain no one appreciates this. Sorry. So a viewer suggested this one. In the stage select screen, you'll notice that every time you select a stage, it gives you a little preview behind where it tells you the name of the stage. But if you select random, nothing appears. Oh, but you're wrong. Something does appear. And if we look over to the right, there it is. Apparently random is actually just a long pillar stage. Someone really ought to recreate this stage in Smash Wii U. Oh yeah, brawl menu. Forgot about you. You have any secrets to hide? You betcha. So whatever the developers didn't use in this menu, they just kind of tossed aside. And if you look all the way up, they actually have something that's just flat out rules. That's just spelled out rules. And I've been sitting here for 5 minutes trying to come up with a joke where I basically say that this find rules, but it was such a bad joke, I didn't even go with it. Instead, I'm just telling you about it. Oh my goodness. So Melee always has all the really cool stuff, I'll tell you. So you would think that there'd be something inside the balls, but no, there's nothing inside the balls. It's the platform that this thing is standing on top of that is really beautiful. Wow, you made it this far? Good for you. Here's the world, man. We're on top of it.
Okie dokie!
Where am I, Todd?
Yeah, seriously. So that was episode 10, Smash Brothers Leftovers. We got more leftovers. I gotta do more of it. So like I said at the beginning of the episode, I'm gonna do a game tour of Super Smash Brothers before next week's episode. So if you wanna stay tuned for that, I'll be sure to put it out for you. So you guys will not be voting for next week's episode. I actually decided to dedicate next episode to a dedicated viewer who's been asking about a particular game for more than a couple weeks now, so I feel like I owe it to him. So next week's episode is going to be Poke Park Wii, but you can vote for the episode after that. And now, with the power of magic, I can do N64 games as well. So we're going to start off with Pokemon Snap and Star Fox 64. So please vote. Let me know what you guys think. If you hate this episode, also, no, don't tell me you hate this episode. Yeah, you can tell me you hate this episode. Alright.
It's only fair.
Gotta have no censorship on this show. Alright guys, I'll see ya. Bye.